Do not slate me with a 1-star review on Google or Yelp before you call me, because you're going to get a different version of me.
Hey, welcome to Smart Talk, where we help you go from truck to CEO by working smarter, not harder. Most movers start with a truck. Today's guest started with 300 boxes she bought off a guy and didn't add a single truck of her own for years. 13 years later, she's running a full-service moving company that's handled everything from one-bedroom apartments to $33 million homes. I'm your host, Anna Taizuvia, and today we're unpacking why she built it backwards and why it worked. Lindsay Curtis is CEO of a SmartMove in San Diego, California. Her company's closing in on 1,000 5-star reviews with 4 straight years of winning Forbes awarded Best Mover of San Diego. And there's a Women's Business Award on the way. She's also got a book coming out, which is a collection featuring 20 women entrepreneurs. Each of them are writing their own chapter. Lindsay wrote hers. Lindsay, welcome to Smart Talk.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You've got the truck in the background, such a strong brand. You've built such a reputable business, winning awards with all these reviews. I want to talk about how you built that today. We started talking about the boxes, but there's a story behind that. So I'd love to just dig in for a moment. How did that actually happen?
Yes, there is a story behind everything that I end up doing. 2008, my husband and I, with our 3 young kids, moved to San Diego. I was not allowed to work. I was allowed to accompany my husband. My husband came over on an international pharmacy program, which allowed us to come to America. So for the first 5 years without my green card, I was a stay-at-home mum, which is great. I'd never done that before, so it was great that I had that time to build the stability for my kids, making a new home and making sure that they had friends and just creating that whole foundational layer. And if you haven't moved from where you grew up from, you don't realize, like, if you're still in your hometown, you have all of those home comforts around you and it's just automatic. Like, you still got friends from kindergarten, you got friends from after school camp or whatever it is that you just accumulate on the way. If you choose to have a family, then you've got your foundational resources there because you've just grown up with these people. And then when you move to a new town or indeed a new country, you have to make those foundational resources all over again. And we landed in San Diego not knowing a soul. And at the age of 40, I had to literally go up to people in the car park of the school and go, hello, can I be your friend? Because otherwise, I'd have no friends through that. So those 5 years of knocking on people's doors and windows, I created a strong foundational home life for not just me and my husband, but for my kids as well. But coincidentally, as luck would or wouldn't have it, we had to move really quickly. So everything was great. Everything's copacetic. Everybody's knowing what's going on. We're all happy. And then we had to move. And I'm like, no. And I went out to a big box store. I bought a load of boxes. I spent $200. I found out my friend. I'm like, hey, I just spent $200 on a load of boxes. She said, no. There's a guy that you can rent moving boxes from. And I'm like, okay, who's ever heard of renting a moving box? But okay. And they're the eco-friendly with the self-attached lids. A lot of your listeners will know exactly what I'm talking about. So I phoned him up and I said, hey, can I rent some boxes? And he said, no, I'm selling the company. And I'm like, well, bring your boxes and bring me your business plan and I'm going to buy you. So he brought his boxes. True story. He came with his boxes, but there was no business plan. And I said, well, where's your plan? And he said, well, I just thought you were some crazy lady on the phone. And I'm like, well, I am a crazy lady on the phone, but I'm the crazy lady that's going to buy you. We bought his 300 boxes, which we got up to about 2,000 boxes over the next 10, 11 years. And I bought out all the competition around me. So I was at one point the only person in San Diego that was renting moving boxes.
My gosh, wild story. But I love the fact that you saw that opportunity, you just gripped it and said, this is what I'm going to do with it. And then you took the rental box business. How'd that grow into the moving company?
Next after that was basically saying a lot of yeses, right? So first of all, I've said yes to, I'm going to buy this guy's company because people need this service. And I've got a smile on my face and I know I'm going to offer good service. And that's how we grew to 2,000 boxes. So we would drop off the boxes, the clients would pack and move, and then we'd pick them up afterwards. So then the clients were asking us about, hey, do you know? So we started building out packing and unpacking services. And that was going great. Everything's lovely. We're now delivering the boxes when we're packing. We're picking up the boxes when we're unpacking. And then we're like, I think we could offer a little bit more. So then we started with the move management. So to get a client from A to B, and most of us knows most clients move around the corner, right? Like 70, 80% of our jobs are literally around the corner, but you still need to get out of one house and move into another. Do you need junk removal? Do you need window cleaning? Do you need move in, move out cleaning? Do you need a gardener? Do you need a Tesla station in your new place? Like whatever it is, we had a load of referral partners as a resource file. So when we were with the clients doing the walkthroughs, like what service do you need? A, B, C, and D. Lovely. We would organize all of that, including the movers. So at this time, Hayden, my son, joined us as our CEO. We've been working the systems, had the move management, boxes, the unpacking, everything, including bringing in the movers. And after a couple of years, he says, you know what? Time to get our own tracks and crew. I brought him in for his ideas. He's obviously younger than me. He's my son. You know, he's got his ear to the ground. He knows things. I'm like, yes. Then we got our trucks and crews from that point, and that's what we've been doing ever since. And we no longer do the boxes anymore.
For movers that are listening right now, these are big milestones that, Lindsay and then when her son Hayden joined, that they went and built towards getting this company to what it is. So I'd love you to comment below. What was your first big milestone? Was it your first truck? Was it one of your first hires? Was it something else? Drop that down in the comments and tell us what the first big milestone was that you hit. Now, Lindsay, you guys have moved a lot of different folks. You've moved like one-bedroom apartments. You've also, as I mentioned in the intro, $33 million homes, right? Which in San Diego, I would like one of those. But you've got the same crew, the same like white glove service. You really take no exceptions to quality. How do you hold one standard at every price point that you're serving today?
That's been our standard protocol since day one. Like I've done every job that I could do to date within the company, because I feel like as an owner, you have to get your hands dirty. Right now, the other side to that is I haven't driven a truck. I know I haven't loaded a truck. I couldn't lift a sofa, but I know people who do or can. So we'll put that to the side for a moment. So we started that very early on. Like I was delivering the boxes in the back of my town and country. I took both seats out and I would load that back of that town and country with the wardrobe boxes and the paper and the packing supplies that we were delivering to our clients. And that's how I started from the ground up. I've been out in the field and I know what it's like, and therefore what happens when you're in clients' homes and all of that sort of stuff. Because I've done that for so long, I was able to impart that to my staff, and they learned pretty quickly that there's only one way to do it, and that's the SmartMove way. I like all the furniture wrapped, top to bottom, back to front, like every piece wrapped. Whereas we've all seen, half the dresses wrapped, but not the bottom, right? But I'm like, no, I want it all wrapped. If I'm your client, I want to see it all wrapped. And we all know that the crew sometimes do it their way, or it's a really hot day. They just want to finish. So sometimes they're not doing it the exact way that you would like it, but our spot checks make sure that our crew know that we could be turning up at any time, and therefore they need to do it the SmartMove way to begin with. So there's nothing for me to go around with in my pointy finger.
I love that you've created that as a standard and it's branded to you guys and it's consistent. I also love that you mentioned, you said, I'm not lifting a sofa or working the back of the truck, but you built company that can run without you doing either. A lot of people start on the truck and then end up owning the company. You go out and you're involved in the teams of the truck, but it says a lot about what it takes to actually lead a moving company instead of just run one. And so I'd love to just dive into that difference with you on what do you focus on that makes a leader of a company versus just somebody running one?
Well, first of all, my knowledge before we got the trucks and crew, my knowledge came from working with other moving companies in San Diego. So when we were hiring them as part of our move management team, I got to pick up and hear and look and see like what they were doing and what I liked and what I didn't like. We might have started with one company, but then didn't like what I saw, then went to another company, didn't like what right? So I picked up a lot of things along the way. We're all good with the mouth. If that was my company, I'd do, right? It's like, if you don't have children yet, you see a crying child, 4 or 5 year old. Well, if that was my child, I'd do. Yes, wait till you have your own, right? So it's not that I came with any conceitedness. It was just what I had seen, which I liked and didn't like. If you service with a smile and do a good job, right? And yes, of course, we've got to make sure everything doesn't break and everyone's safe and well. But you do a good service and you smile. That's how you build your company. You build the culture, and then your clients feel that as well. We were actually out on site the other day, and this lady, how was the whole process for you before the move and during the move? She says, before the move, I was really anxious. She said, because last time my movers didn't even turn up. Okay. She said, but I knew that you were going to turn up because you phoned me like 3 days before with a check-in call. You phoned me like here, then I got a text that you were on your way and then you arrived, and all of that obviously is through SmartMoving, right? What we have is a move manager of the day. So they'll pick up the client like 3 days before, check the inventory, which they can easily do. And then all those touch points through the SmartMoving, your crew has left the warehouse, they'll be on the way in this time, they've arrived. Most of the jobs that we do are house to house, so you can hear the moving truck coming. But if we're in an apartment and we might be in the loading bay, the client doesn't know you've arrived, right?
Yeah.
So you press the arrive. And so it's all that stuff that helps us create a better system for our clients so that they know that we're turning up, even just to begin with, right?
Man, I can't even imagine being ready to move and not having my movers show up. Like,
Yeah.
I'd lose my mind. And it's great.
Yes.
It's great that you guys have all those touch points. I also really like that you said your smile. It's service with a smile. It's provide a great service and do it pleasantly. Obviously, you've got a standard when it comes to hiring people who are doing that job. What do you look for that makes somebody who's perfect for working for you?
So I'll tell you what we do. We have days that we mass interview. So we'll have 10 people one day, all of whom have said they've got moving experience and know the job back to front, because everybody has got experience and knows the job back to front. Okay. All right. Let's see your action. So we call them in and we will have stations set up. So somebody's packing pictures, somebody's packing glassware, somebody's packing books, somebody's wrapping in desks, whatever it is. I mean, it's all curated and thought about, and everybody gets to go at everything. So they swivel round, and we're looking for their packing style. We're looking for their labeling style. We're looking for how they interact with the other team members, or like just for the interview, how they're interacting with them. So even if this guy can wrap China beautifully, if he's showing us some belligerence or not part of the culture, I don't care how good you rap. I can teach somebody to rap. You can't teach somebody to look out for their teammate, all of that. And so for every 10 people, we might get one guy. Oh, and what we do at the end, which they really love, is we stand on the box of china or on the box of glass. And if that box caves, right, because that box should be hard on top, HOT, hard on top, so that anybody could stand on that box. And I show them the box I pack and I stand on it. And they're like, oh. It doesn't mean that they don't get the job, because people can be trained, but we're looking at all the aspects. And so the one guy that might make it through, we send him out with the crew. It's a paid day, and our crew lead will come back and let us know. He's a great fit. He's not a great fit. He's a good guy. He could do this, but he can't do that, which is fine, because everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses. That's not an issue. But it's actually our crew lead or crew leads that give us the final say so as to whether that person becomes part of the SmartMove family. So they've gone through all these tests before we get them on a truck.
I want to stand on the china.
What?
That's
well, you got
that, Right? I'll pack
Yeah.
it. I'll pack it.
Yeah.
I want to come to one of your training days and learn how to do this. This is incredible.
Beautiful.
I also love the fact you've got your team involved. You're clearly building a culture that is consistent. And because you have everybody around you culture, they're learning to do it the smart move way. Everybody can look at that and call out or correct when that is so that it's all aligned to it. Lindsay, I would love to ask you, what's one thing that you wish any mover listening right now knew or you want them to remember about this session?
It's all about the service, because if you don't offer good service, then you haven't got a business, and you've got to put your name behind the business. So look, we've all had stuff break on jobs, right? I'm not pretending, right? We have. It's the name of the game. It's how you deal with that afterwards, how you deal with the client afterwards. Are you going to please everybody all the time? No, that's just statistically, you're not going to do that. We had one client, we came in $1,000 under estimate. She'd signed the estimate, happy with the estimate. We came in $1,000 afterwards, and she said we were still too expensive. Now, I'm sorry, if I'm $1,000 cheaper buying anything on the planet, to me, that's a win, right? But to her, we were still the most expensive. But you knew the figures, you knew the price. We came in $1,000 cheaper. There is no way on hell am I ever going to satisfy that client. So let's put those aside, because you're never going to win with those. Then you've got the other side. The table broke. Okay, let's fix it, right? How do you go about fixing it? What do you do? I'm not talking about the IKEA table. I'm talking about the marble top table, right? You own up and you sort it out like a proper human being, and how you would want to be serviced. So it's service with a smile. And we always tell all of our clients, if anything goes horribly wrong, you've got our numbers. I'm not some like big multinational company and I'm sitting in New Zealand doing a move in San Diego. Call me.
Yeah, they can call you.
Yes.
Beautiful.
But call me like a rational, normal human being. Do not slate me with a 1-star review on Google or Yelp before you call me, because you're going to get a different version of me.
It's that service. Like, you want to make sure it's done right. You want to make sure that it's done right by them. And you'll go out of your way to do that. And your reviews are clear. You go look at her reviews, those 5-star reviews. It tells you that she's not just walking it, she is living it. You got this book coming out. Where can people get a copy of that book at, Lindsay?
So you can buy it on Amazon. It's called Her Next Level.
I'll drop a link down below.
Thank you. It will be released at the end of August for sale on Amazon. And you can buy the Kindle version, the Audible, whichever version works for you. But it's basically about 21 women with their stories of how they got from where they were to where they are. Very inspirational. I was even crying at my own story. And I'm like, but I know my story. Like, just when you put it down on paper, though, it just makes it more real. I don't know. Or it's like you've got that legacy written down somewhere.
You're living it again.
You know, and thinking about all the blood, sweat and toil to get from A to B, you know, personally and professionally and everything else. I would say it's a must read. It's not just a must read for all women. I think anybody entrepreneurial could, should and would read it, because you're going to learn something. If it's not from me, it's going to be from somebody else.
I can't wait to get my copy and read it. Definitely. And exciting too. We've got you coming out to Summit in October 8th through 11th in Scottsdale. And you're going to be on a women's panel called Why Are Different? It's the competitive edge nobody else saw coming. And so if you want to meet Lindsay in person, get way deeper into her playbook, ask her some follow-up questions, that is definitely where you need to be. Make sure you get your ticket at summit.smartmoving.com. I'm excited to have you there, Lindsay. I think you're going to add so much to that panel with more of your story being told on stage. And I love this. You built backwards, right? You took an opportunity, you grasped it, you created a standard. You created a brand around quality and service with a smile, and around a key point that we always just want to make it right and we want to make it easy and it needs to be done the smart move way. And so you did this, and you did it without even stepping out of truck, and with raising a family and being a mom. And this is exactly, my friends, how you go from truck to CEO, and you don't even have to work on the truck at all. Lindsay, it's been such a pleasure having you on Smart Talk today. Love sitting down with you. Can't wait to sit down with you again in October when we're there at Summit together. Everyone, if you guys like this, make sure you hit subscribe. Drop your questions down below. We read every single one of those and answer. And again, I've got more owners just like Lindsay joining us every week. Make sure you tune in for the next Smart Talk. Thanks so much, everyone. Work smarter, not harder.